Rose, who is the Director of Environmental Sustainability for PetSmart. He leads the company's sustainability efforts, including energy management, waste diversion and recycling, water conservation, product partnerships, and associate engagement. He also has responsibilities for the corporate campus operations. Prior to his role, Mike served as a director of finance at PetSmart for 5 years. And prior to joining PetSmart, Mike worked for May Company, Venture Stores, and Charter Communications in various capacity. Mike holds a Bachelor of Accounting from the University of Missouri, St. Louis. All right, Mike, I will hand the controls over to you and let you talk to the group about what PetSmart's doing around sustainability.
Thanks, Caitlin. I appreciate that. So I wanted to talk today a little bit about how PetSmart prioritizes our sustainability efforts. The first thing I'll say is that we are a very resource-intense business, and we feel that it's very important to be transparent in the way that we communicate with our associates and also the consumers. So I'll kind of walk you through how we prioritize these different topics and how we communicate those individually throughout our stores and into the actual end consumer. So if you look at this page, we start with recycling, and I'll just give you some facts on that. We currently are at a 42% diversion rate from a recycling perspective. Primarily, cardboard today is recycled at our stores. We do have about 100+ stores that are doing single stream tests, but we have a plan that I'll talk about in a little bit to greatly increase our diversion percentages. From an energy perspective, we are a very energy intense business. We actually had a study done, and we use about 45% more energy per square foot than most other retailers. And that's due to the fact that we have animals in our care 24/7, so we really do not allow the temperature set points to vary much throughout the off hours. So many other retailers in the off hours are allowed to let the temperatures go up and down depending on the time of year. We maintain a very consistent temperature in our stores because it's very important. The most important thing for us as a business is to provide comfort for the pets that are in our care. From a water perspective, we're also a very water-intense business. In 2013, we used approximately 900 million gallons of water. As you can imagine, we groom millions of dogs per year. We also have over about 200 pet hotels that we're consistently cleaning to maintain a safe and healthy environment for the pets in our care. If you see on the lower left, we have our PetSmart Think Twice sustainability platform. And this is how we communicate internally and externally around the efforts that we have around sustainability. From a partnership perspective, we're very excited to be part of the Pet Industry Sustainability Coalition and also RELA to help guide those discussions and make sure that we work together as retailers to focus on the right things and ultimately make a bigger impact if we can align amongst common topics to make an impact in the business. And from a compliance and reporting perspective, we currently update our website with all of our sustainability metrics on an annual basis, and that's at petsmart.com/thinktwice. And we'll be soon updating our 2030 fiscal year numbers to let everybody know how we've done over the past year compared to fiscal 2012. I think we've been making some good progress in a lot of different areas. So I'll go into, on the next slide, one of the major initiatives that we have in 2014. And if I can move the slide here. So from an energy perspective, as I mentioned, we use about 45% more energy than the average retailer. And in order to try to reduce that increase, we actually have an energy management system optimization test going on in about a third of our chain right now. And we actually did a lot of due diligence around this to select the right vendors for this test. We interviewed over 20 vendors, and we actually selected 3 that are participating in this ongoing test. We feel that we have an opportunity to reduce our energy consumption by 10% or more per store, which would be a huge impact. We really are focused on reducing the impact in the local communities in which we operate. And if we were able to lessen the amount of stress that we put on the local utility grid, that would be a really good thing for us and the local community. So the test is running from February through July, and we really feel like it's going to provide us a lot of opportunity to reduce our energy consumption, and ultimately we hope to select a partner out of these 3 vendors that we can do a full-scale rollout. And some of the early things that we've seen in this test have been very positive. So more to come on that in the future webinar. So on the next slide, major initiative going on for the business. As I mentioned, we're at a 42% diversion from landfill. And as you see laid out here, we are viewing this on a commodity by commodity basis as to how we're going to get where we want to be by 2016, 2017, which we really want to lead retailer, be one of the leading retailers as far as the waste diversion percentage goes. So today we primarily recycle cardboard, but in our stores, the next primary commodity that we're very focused on is getting stretch wrap out of our waste stream. And if you look at that, it's probably another 15 to 20% of our waste stream is made up of stretch film today. We also have bottles and cans, mixed paper. We're working on a pet food donation program. With grooming millions of pets per year, we also have a lot of dog hair, which could be a very challenging thing to recycle. But we are working on some things that are pretty unique to our industry to help manage through that. So we have a very aggressive goal to approach 90% waste diversion by the 2016-2017 timeframe, and that's kind of an internal goal that we did. We're working very get there and going to work very closely with our partners in the waste management area to help us hopefully achieve those goals. And this also can reduce, as I mentioned, the impact that we have on the local communities as far as diverting stuff out of those local landfills. On the next slide, been a big focus for us in 2014 is trying to drive sustainability and the culture of sustainability into all 53,000 associates throughout our stores, distribution centers, and our store support group campus, which is what we call our corporate office. The biggest challenge, I think, as I've been in this role for 2.5 years, has been the challenge of trying to get people to understand what the sustainability efforts are here at PetSmart and why it should be important to them. It's as any retailer, we have standard turnover, so we're consistently needing to communicate our Think Twice sustainability efforts into our stores, and we've really got a program set up for 2014 that we're going to really get them to consider sustainability in all of the things that they do on a day-to-day basis. And it really starts with just recognizing what sustainability is at PetSmart. So we put together a very thorough program working with many partners throughout the business on how we're going to consistently communicate things to our store and DC associates so that they understand why they should really care about sustainability at our business. It's also about, we want them to see the big picture around really what we're doing overall, but there's little things that they can do in their day-to-day actions that can really make a big impact. When you're looking at a company with over 1,300 locations, one small idea that we can spread across the organization can really have a big impact on what we do. On the next slide, I've kind of laid out a little bit of the timeline of what we're trying to do in this area. And as I mentioned, publicizing Think Twice, it honestly today, prior to 2014, has not been recognized to a great extent by our store associates, but I think it's very important that we change that and really create a medium for exchange where we can get back and forth dialogue going with our associates and also recognize associates that are taking what we consider to be very sustainable actions in their day-to-day operations. From the DC perspective, it's all about learning their operations. We do have a really good story going on in our distribution centers around our recycling efforts. So I think they kind of get it already to some extent, but it's also some of the other little things that we can do to be a more sustainable business. And then here at our SSG office, We really are trying to continue to get that leadership support, clearly define what we're trying to do in the business and further integrate ourselves into the business as a whole and really become more of an integral part of the strategic planning that we go through as a business on a year in and year out basis. So with that, I'd just like to open it up for any questions. I just say I'm really glad that we're a part of the coalition and look forward to continuing to do some great things to move our industry in the right direction from a sustainability perspective.
All right, thanks, Mike. It was great to learn a little bit about what PetSmart is doing with their operations.